So it looks like Real Housewives of Atlanta star Sidora's sister, Allison, is responding to Kandi's interview with
Courtney.
And she's sharing her thoughts on some of the things that Courtney and Kandi had to say about mental illness. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So it's been quite a few days. It's almost a week since Courtney's interview with Kandi Burruss on her YouTube channel, Speak On It. And there was a lot of backlash after fans watched Kandi speak on it and some of the uncomfortable and cringy things that both Kandi and Courtney said about mental illness. Well, since that video was posted, it was taken down, edited, and those cringy moments were removed. However, our friends over at Jay Lee's Corner captured the portion that was edited out of the interview.
Honestly, I was trying to just stay away from her sister because of this whole, this whole story about her mental illness. And, as you see, she's drinking tequila a lot in these scenes. And I'm like, I just don't want to have nothing to do with that.
You said, did I feel like, does she have a real, true mental illness? And I said to Drew, I have to be honest, I thought you had been lying about your sister having a mental illness because she seems so normal and like a woman who doesn't really have those type of problems or whatever.
Especially the way she explained her sister's illness to us, right? It was pretty extreme.
Right. It was very extreme. So I didn't think that it was true. I was like, okay, is she just saying these things to get some type of sympathy or something?
Right.
But
or
then
storyline.
Yeah. Well,
for Drew.
I didn't say that. You said that, but kind of I was thinking that. So when we went to the mental health retreat and her sister shared her story, and it was extremely emotional. Well, I guess there is something that we can't see, people are going through things and you may not know what's going on. So I was like, okay, well, there's some truth to the situation.
Ralph and I have talked about it, and I'm not going to necessarily share what his belief is. To me, it just felt a little like exploitation. If your sister has this mental illness, she's feeding her tequila constantly in these settings. I just don't think that's why would you do that for someone? I have mental illness in my family, and the last thing I'm going to do is have a loved one on a platform like this drinking and putting them in situations to fight and argue with people. I just don't think that's conducive to someone who has a mental illness. So that's just how I believe. I don't think it's a healthy environment. Right. And alcohol and mental illness just is not.
But a lot of people, including myself, just realized that we haven't heard Kandi address this cringy moment, not even apologizing to the world and people maybe suffering from mental illness, or especially Allison. Well, Allison took to her social media to respond to it. But before we get into that, I find it so interesting that so many people are up in arms on whether or not Tommy, aka Ralph Pittman, is really cousins with cousin Courtney. Here's the thing. First of all, I never really believed that they were actually related. They were at this party and all of a sudden Courtney's like, we just found out that we're cousins. Okay, cousins recently. I never really believed that they were real cousins. And then only to find out that maybe they were cousins by marriage. I don't know what it is, but to be honest with you, I don't care if they're cousins or not. They're recent cousins. There's no real family depth. Even if they were blood cousins, y'all don't have history together. There's no loyalty together. You don't know each other. And I know in this interview with Kandi, Courtney made it seem like she had a closer relationship with Ralph in the short months that she's known him over the how many years that Drew has had with him. I get it that you don't like Drew and you and Drew had a falling out. And to be honest with you, when you think about the falling out that Drew and Courtney had, it wasn't enough in my personal assessment of the situation for Courtney to be dogging Drew the way that she's been dogging Drew. But maybe she's dogging Drew in an effort to maintain a position on this Real Housewives of Atlanta show and at least have some sort of connection to Ralph. I see what you guys say in the comments. And a lot of you, when we recap Real Housewives of Atlanta, said that you feel as if maybe Courtney and Ralph might have something a little bit more than just cousins. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't care. But Allison. So we said when Allison shared her story and when Drew brought her sister on the show, we love the fact that Drew was allowing and Allison was forthcoming with her journey with mental illness. We loved that was shared. However, Courtney on the Speak On It made it seem as if Drew put her sister on the show, was taking advantage of her sister, was using her sister for a storyline. Then started talking and making these really archaic assumptions about what mental illness looks like and feels like. Now Allison is taken to her social media and is addressing both Kandi and Courtney and the things that they said on the Speak On It. And she tagged quite a few different people, including ourselves. Didn't see it till now, so I apologize. Allison posted this on her social media, on her Instagram, stating with a photo from the event that they had, the mental health event that they had with the cast. So she captions this by saying, I went on Real Housewives of Atlanta to normalize the conversation on mental health. She says, my vulnerability and willingness to share trials of overcoming PTSD, anxiety, and depression is to reduce the stigma and fear of those suffering in silence. She says, no one has the blueprint of what a person looks like with mental health. What is, quote, normal? Was I supposed to show up in a straitjacket? Furthermore, I do not abuse alcohol or take any medications that interact with alcohol, because that was something that Courtney was saying on the Speak On It as well, in the original version. She says, the statements Courtney Rhodes made on Speak On It was reckless, tasteless, insensitive, and ignorant. She says, for Kandi Burruss to engage in such a dialogue was diminishing. She says, mental health does not own a look nor concrete symptoms. It is my hope that Courtney reflects on her baseless, careless words and grows enough empathy to not only issue a public apology, but take the time to educate herself on the many forms of mental illnesses with the goal of never belittling or attacking anyone experiencing mental illness again. Here's the thing. When I read this and I saw that this was happening, and I know that Allison just recently did an interview with Make It Make Sense, so be sure to check that out. I have not been able to see the full interview, but I have seen clips. She talked more about her mental health journey and things like that with him. Here's the thing. When I saw this post, finally, I said to myself, I was like, wait a minute. So Kandi has not addressed this? Look, Kandi Speak On It is an opportunity for people to speak on it, but this is also Kandi's platform. This was also an interview that was pre-recorded. If it happened live, I'm like, okay, I get it. People call into our channel sometime and say terrible things. Not all the time, but it happens. Call in live on our channel and we can't control something live. But when you pre-record an interview, you see and hear and watch these things, and if you felt cringy during the interview, because a lot of you said that Kandi looked uncomfortable with some of the things that Courtney was saying in this interview. I just feel like that was your opportunity to take those cringy things out. But I already told you, when I heard that Courtney was doing this interview, I said, well, Kandi revealed that during the reunion, her and Drew go at it, and they're not in a good place. So I already knew Courtney coming on Speak On It, although they say this is a platform, we have everyone on the show, everyone has an opportunity to come on this Speak On It to express their views and things like that. But I knew the fact that Courtney was coming in was, because why would Courtney, of all people on the show, come on Speak On It? I mean, look, she's a friend of, but for me, she wasn't even a monumental friend of. Neither was Monyetta, because I'm not going to even get on Monyetta. And Monyetta's now giving tea on her relationship when she should be giving more of that during the season. But anyways, I do find it interesting that we haven't heard Kandi speak on it. In regards to this, I wouldn't be surprised that she speaks on it this Sunday, when part 1 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion airs. But like I said before, I was like, well, yeah, she probably will speak on it, but monetize it. Can you be mad at that? No, but I think so much time has passed since then. an apology because your platform was used to spread misinformation about mental illness and defaming statements about Allison. Allison had to come out and say, first of all, I do not abuse alcohol. I came on the show of my own free will. And we've said that too. It was like, I'm not going to put it on Drew if her sister, a grown woman, older than Drew, and managed Drew's career. She knows how this platform works. She knows how media works. So she knew what she was signing up for in regards to this. But she wanted to share her story. And we've said countless times, we were glad. This was like one of the best parts of the season. Because although this was a lackluster season, based on what fans are saying, these elements from Drew's story, specifically her sister, it was nice seeing. First of all, it was nice seeing Drew and her sister interact. It was also nice hearing her sister talk about what she's gone through and how she's overcome these things. It's not like she's in the middle of it. No, she's on the other side of it. Yes, she's still probably dealing with things on a daily basis because mental health is a daily task. But she's on the other end of it and she wanted to help people. She wanted to help this group. And Kandi even said she didn't believe originally Drew when she talked about her sister having mental illness. I'm not sure why. Yes, we know Drew lies, but I just don't see why Drew would lie about this particularly. Maybe there's something that we don't know why they would think that, but okay. But Kandi said after this whole mental health retreat that they did and hearing Allison's story, it changed her mind. It made her believe what was really happening with Allison. I always remind you guys, we are watching an edited show. It's very hard for us to determine what these people are seeing and doing and feeling because we don't see the full picture. We see an edited version. So I try to give everybody grace in this situation, but I thought by now we would have heard from Kandi speak on this and address some of the things that Courtney said in this interview. Some people felt like what Courtney said was okay. Some people felt like the interview was okay. They didn't need to edit it out. And maybe they did need to edit it out because it was already seen by the world. And Courtney and Kandi and everyone could have a conversation. Maybe the next person that should be on Speak On It, Kandi, should be Allison. I don't think Drew would do it. And maybe Allison won't do it because she seems very loyal to her sister, so she might not do it. But I do think that would be a perfect opportunity for you to use your platform to educate people on mental health and mental illness. Guys, as always, I want to hear you speak on it in the comment section. I want to know your thoughts on what Allison had to say in regards to this Speak On It interview. And as always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter.